All right, everyone, here we are. It's our final week. We made it. Here on the final week, we want to do something totally different. We want to give you guys a different opportunity to write in a new way. But before we get into that, I wanted to give a quick shout out to the team behind the scenes. So I'm Aaron Schwartz from ELA at the West. You have seen my face and you've heard my voice way too much. But these are the people behind the scenes who've been working really, really hard to bring you the best content to keep your learning going, even in this really, really strange time. So we appreciate you tuning in, and these people I know appreciate the fact that you've been working hard. Make sure if you see them again soon at school, maybe just shoot them an email and say thank you for the work that they've done, because they have been an awesome team to work with. They've made my job and my life easier, and I hope that you appreciate the work they've done as well. Next person to thank, and she doesn't know I'm doing this, is our head of secondary ELA, Kim Dahl. She has been fantastic. She is on Zoom all day, every day. I don't know how she sleeps. She'll be probably surprised I put this in here. I might get an email, but I had to say thank you. She is fantastic. She's been great to work with and work for. So another person to thank throughout this whole process, because she has streamlined all of this for all grade levels at the secondary level. So another big shout out to Kim. All right, this week is all about writing as an art form. Okay, we as English teachers were moved to become English teachers because something in writing moved us. We saw something in writing that changed us or changed the way we thought about the world. And we want to emphasize that this week, right? So here's a really stark visual contrast, right? We've got Costco on the left, and there's nothing wrong with that building. It is exactly what it needs to be. It's a giant box meant to house as much stuff as you can fit in it. You need stuff, we've got all of it. It's just a stuff store, right? Whereas if you look on the right, we're looking at a beautiful cathedral, right? The beautiful cathedral, sadly, right, that caught on fire recently. But look at this beautiful image of this cathedral. This was not built to stuff things, right? It was not built to hoard things. It was built to be beautiful. It was built to embody the beauty and the ideal of beauty at the time that it was created. It was supposed to be timeless. And when you stand, you look at this cathedral, you realize how small you are and what a great achievement it is. It moves you. Okay, in a way that, hey, look, if you stand outside of Costco and you are moved by the enormousness of Costco, that's awesome. That's fantastic. It's giant. It's moving kind of in a different way. But there's a difference here, right? We look at one in a different way than we look at the other. Here's another example of that in terms of text, right? If we look on the left, we have an advertisement for a hot dog. I mean, I love a hot dog. You're going to throw some chips in there and a bottle of water for $2.99. I am with you. You are speaking the language of my soul, but not in the same way that a tribute by Carl Sandburg to the city that raised him, the city that he loves, not in the same way that Chicago by Carl Sandburg moves me. When I read this poem, I am prompted to think about the city I live in. I'm prompted to think about the words that he put on paper. I have to grapple with them. I have to take time in reading and processing them. Whereas on the left side, I'm like, hot dog, $2.99, done, got it, take my money. Now, you could argue that the thing on the left is artful in a way, and there have been many arguments about what constitutes or what makes art, right? How do we consider something art or not? But for most people, we'd look at the left and we'd say that is utility. It is getting a message across as fast as possible. Whereas on the right, this is text. This is writing as an art form. It is meant to be processed through and appreciated, sometimes even read out loud, because it is beautiful and it prompts us to think about ourselves and the world. So that's what you're going to do this week. You're going to look at images and you're going to see how these images prompt you to create an artful response to the world. This is one that I love. I love the writing around boxing, this idea of this violent sport where two men are literally engaging in a fight, and yet the writing about it tends to be very poetic. It tends to be very beautiful, actually. And I think that contrast, that juxtaposition of violence and beauty really interests me in the way that boxing writers portray the sport. So I look at this image of Ali, and here's a description of him. There's always a shock in seeing him again, not live as in television, but standing before you looking his best. Then the world's greatest athlete is in danger of being our most beautiful man, and the vocabulary of camp is doomed to appear. Women draw an audible breath. Men look down. They are reminded again of their lack of worth. If Ali never opened his mouth to quiver the jellies of public opinion, he would still inspire love and hate, for he is the Prince of Heaven. So says the silence around his body when he is luminous. I love that writing. Okay? So what I want you to do this week, and what our team wants you to do this week, is to find art or images that prompt you to create artful writing response. When you look at it, can a piece of art prompt us to write beautifully in response, to think about how we are moved, to try to put words to the stirring that happens inside, right? How can we figure out how to respond to that art in a way that captures our emotions and in a way that captures our reaction? So we want you to really enjoy this week. That is the number one prime directive. Enjoy, right? Enjoy enjoy writing as art this week and engaging with something beautiful. We thank you for your time. We thank you for your attention throughout these lessons. Have a safe and beautiful summer, and we hope to see you very, very soon.